Hi guys, and welcome to my video tutorial on installing Virtualbox and configuring it for use with a Linux Ubuntu virtual machine. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is download two files. The Oracle VM Virtualbox install file. If you search Virtualbox on Google and click the downloads link, and then you want to select the VirtualBox 4.2.6 for Windows hosts and go ahead and download that file and save it to somewhere you can access it, like your desktop or your downloads folder. The second file you're going to want to download is the Ubuntu install file. If you search for Ubuntu and click on the download Ubuntu desktop, and then I would recommend choosing the bottom of these two because it's a more stable with more support, and the top one is the sort of latest version, but it's not quite as stable. So if you select the 32 or the 64-bit option, if you're not sure which you need, select the 32, as that will run on both 32-bit and 64-bit machines. So after you've clicked which one you want, you're taken to this screen where it asks you for a donation to the costs of maintaining Ubuntu. If you don't want to do that, you can just click Not Now, take me to the download, where it will automatically start. I would recommend saving this file somewhere accessible, such as your desktop, as you're going to need to get at it later on. So once you have downloaded those files, you can go ahead and run the VirtualBox installation. It's a pretty straightforward setup wizard. You can just leave it all at the default settings. I personally don't want desktop icon or shortcuts, so I'm going to untick those and proceed with the installation. Okay, so once that's finished, you can go ahead and start the VirtualBox software, and we are now going to use it to configure and set up a virtual machine. Just going to delete these so that I can show you from the beginning. So this is the screen you will be confronted with when you first start VirtualBox. So what you're going to want to do is click on the new icon at the top and then give your machine a name. Now this software is quite clever. If you type in Ubuntu, it will actually select for you the Linux operating system and the version as Ubuntu. You can go ahead and install any one you want, but as we're doing Ubuntu, we can leave it at that default. I'm actually going to set it to the 64-bit version because I have a 64-bit machine, but the normal one will work just fine. Now this screen is where you allocate your virtual machine's resources. So my machine, my physical machine, has 12 gigabytes of RAM, so I've got plenty to allocate the virtual machine. If however you only have say 4 gigabytes of RAM on your machine, I would recommend not setting it higher than 2 gigabytes because you're still going to need enough system resources to run your current operating system with the addition of Ubuntu on top of that, so you don't want to allocate more than half of your system resources. If you have less than 4 gigabytes of RAM, you can go ahead and install it, but you would need to severely limit the amount of RAM you allocate to Linux to maybe 1 gigabyte max. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a RAM size of 4 gigabytes. There we are. And now for the rest of the installation, you can pretty much just follow the the default settings. So this is creating a virtual hard disk drive. Dynamically allocated is fine. And here you can actually change the physical location of your virtual hard drive. If you had, for example, a small hard disk on your computer or not enough free space, but you have, say, an external hard disk that you want to use, you can then click and save that anywhere, but I'm going to leave it as it is, and leave all the rest of it as it is as well. So that's your virtual machine created. Now, in order to boot off of Linux, we need to add the Linux download file to a virtual CD or DVD drive. So to do that, you click here where it says storage, and you'll see you have controller ID and controller SATA. Here is your virtual hard disk that we just created, and here is a empty virtual DVD drive. So if you go ahead and click the little DVD icon and choose a virtual CD DVD disk file, and then navigate to where you saved your Linux file. I've saved mine on my desktop, so it's right here, and I'm going to go and choose the Ubuntu 12.4 or 12.04, sorry, and open that, and then click OK. So now that has essentially put the Ubuntu DVD installation into your virtual DVD drive. So now you can go ahead and click on the Start button to start your Linux virtual machine. You will get several pop-up messages about the interface, which you can just click Do Not Show Again. They're quite useful to read, as it tells you how to get from your virtual machine back to your original computer, should you somehow get yourself stuck. Okay, and now we're going to be confronted with the Ubuntu disks installation screen. I'm going to go ahead and install Ubuntu because we've created a virtual hard disk. So there's the Virtualbox software has allocated a certain amount of your hard disk space, free space, so that you can use it specifically for this virtual machine. So we can go ahead and install Ubuntu on that virtual hard disk. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to tick download whilst installing. Virtualbox will connect your virtual machine to your computer network, provided your computer is connected to the internet. So I'm going to go ahead and tick that and then click continue. And it's fine to erase because we've only used blank space, so just go ahead and continue that and install now. Okay, now the beauty of Ubuntu over Windows installation, if you've ever done a Windows installation, is that you pretty much have to wait until the installation is finished before you can configure any of your settings. However, Ubuntu, you can do this while the installation is taking place, saving you quite a bit of time. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that at the default as London, and English UK for keyboard layout. If you wanted another one, you can just select it. I'm going to go ahead and type my name, and it's automatically filled out my computer name, and I'm just going to go ahead and give that a password. And I'm going to select login automatically because it's just easier, but if you wanted a login you could just set one up so that you have to log in every time, but I don't think that's necessary. Okay, and that's that. You can now leave this to run. It should take no more than about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how fast your system is. Yep, that's the end of my tutorial for the installation. I will come back when this is finished, and I will do another video on the basic features of Ubuntu and the differences between this and Microsoft Windows. Thanks for watching. See you soon.